Welcome back to Tomlinson Park Mark 2. So I thought in this video we'll just have a look what's been going on up here over the last, I think we're now into 2.5 years. So the station area is more or less finished. I have got a Pico platform running between those lines, but I think I'm going to change it for the plastic Hornby Dublo station that they made for the 2-rail, just so the colour all blends in and it's all Hornby Dublo. So the incline is now running. I tend to have the trains going from left to right, and I get asked often what the incline's set at. On this one it's 1 in 30 downward gradient, which seems to be fine. Going up the other side is 1 in 42, I think it is. We'll come to that a little bit later. So none of the wiring is in for the points, or any of the signals have wired up. So this afternoon I've been busy putting in this wiring, which is stealing something from the DCC guys. So the idea of this, I'm just going to run droppers where I've got a drop in speed just to boost the power up. So this goes all the way around the layout. So I need to add another colour. There's 5 colours I believe on there. I need to add another one for what will become the earth. So we've got all the switches. This is off the previous layout. So I've got that lot to look forward to and thinking how we're going to wire that in. So the goods depot, that's all finished, and really it's just to display a few wagons just to add a little bit of interest. So I've got a few new items. That's been repainted. It's a Dublo dinghy. That came in a job lot from one of my neighbours. So Veronica, if you're watching, you're famous. So it's one of those things where you say you're not going to buy any more trains, Hornby Dublo, and you see things in shop windows or one of the neighbours got a job lot and you can't stop yourself from buying it. So I'm not using the Hornby Dublo controllers. They're approaching 70 years old. There's probably nothing wrong with them. I mean, these are getting on for 50, but that's what we're running them on. So they're slightly newer. The Hornby Dublo runs fine on it. So last weekend we installed what will be carriage sidings along here. So it's just somewhere to store a few carriages. So this was another one of these job lots that started life as looking like that coach, and it's very rusty, so that got resprayed into blood and custard. But unfortunately I can't find any transfers to do the doors and the little handles, so I've had to mark them out by pen. It don't look too bad. It certainly looks a lot better than what it did when I got the coach. So carry on, we've got the viaduct there. This all needs filling in. And we've got some modern Hornby, I suppose fencing to go round around that section. I haven't got round to doing it yet. I really want to spray these viaducts into Hornby Dublo colours, so it'll be the cream and orange, just so it blends in with the rest of it. But at the moment it's just getting everything to run right. The suspension bridge as well will have to be sprayed. Into Hornby Dublo colours. So there's an A4 body waiting to receive transfers, and I'm trying, I think that A4 there that's just poking in the shed is what the body's going to be put onto. And obviously the tender's going to want to respray. That came from somebody who found it in the loft. It hadn't run in years, so we've got that going, and that body will be going on there. Also with the job lot was a 3-rail shunter, and unfortunately that was the body that come with it, which is pretty mangled. There's not a lot you can do with it. I suppose I could have built it up with plasticard, but no, toying with the idea whether I keep it. I wouldn't even call that BR blue, or it gets sprayed. I think I'll probably end up putting it into green, but it joins the other two that we've already got there. So we've got a few cars out tonight. We've been wiring up the TPO, which sits under there. So we've got a few Duchesses that come in a job lot from the neighbour, and that one wants a renumber. It's still got the Montrose, and that one's in fairly good condition. So we've got a St Paddy which came off my son. That was a couple of years ago. Initially had a few problems with it. The bearing had gone on the motor housing, but it all seems, it works okay now. The Southern N2 came in a job lot from the neighbour, as did the engine sat behind it. And the Montrose, which has got the handrails missing off it, that tender was built up at the weekend from bits, and I've carefully masked off the orange banding and gave that a little spray job. That's waiting to go back together. So we'll come to the incline, which you must have seen in the videos. I should probably put a video of it up working after this. The engine seemed to have no problems pulling up. I've got a tank, standard tank on it at the moment. No problems pulling that up the incline, as long as you keep the wheels lubricated and they run smoothly. I don't get any problems with uncouplings or derailings. Move along. So this is another A4 that's come in a job lot, along with the ladders off the shunter in front of it. So that one runs quite smoothly. We had a little bit of a running issue with it, but it wouldn't go through points because the back-to-back had gone out of tolerance, so we had to adjust that, but that runs quite nice. I'm toying with the idea where this 8F is, of going a bit further along onto that, and where all this storage is and more 008 locos. running over the back and coming back on here, because unfortunately I've got more trains than what I have got track to put them on. So I could do with a few passing loops just to store the trains in that kind of area. So that's where that would go, and we'd change those 2 manual points there for electronic ones. So just going back to the incline, what I've used as supports is, I would say them supports from the 1980s, probably 1990s, Hornby. And all I've done is just snipped where that modern track would have fitted into it. And it's supported with a little bit of polystyrene. It all needs finishing off and disguising, but until we've got it all wired in, we know exactly what we're doing. It's staying open. Those there that come off the Hornby Dublo bridge are cut down supports which I bought as spare parts for the suspension bridge. They've also got to be sprayed into blending with the Hornby Dublo, so they'll be sprayed orange or cream. So the engine shed has still got to be wired in. We haven't done anything with that yet. We've also put a couple of passing loops in here now, so I can store another train. We store 3 trains now, or have one running past at the moment. The one with the goods wagons with the A4 on the front is the one that's going round. So that's just another station. And I ended up with these station extensions at the beginning of the year, and I've sprayed those to try and match in with the original. They don't look too bad. Give them another lease of life. So we've still got to wire all the engine shed in, and it will run off that controller there, which has got circuit selection. So it's just for a little bit of fun. You'll be able to shunt up and down. So just a few more sidings that have been put in here, and that is basically a tour round the layout of where we are at the moment with it. So once everything's wired in, we'll start screwing the track down, but until then it's the look. Well, I hope you found the video useful and interesting, and we'll see you in the next one.